What I'm going to show you about how to install FFmpeg with n8n is not something you're going to find on any other, as of right now, it's not something you're going to find on any other video, because n8n just made this new change that involves a major difference in how apps are being called, how APK and APT apps are being used. So if you had a way to install FFmpeg with n8n in a Docker environment, it will not work anymore. I had that issue, so I had to find a way to figure it out. I'm going to show you in this video how to go about it. So I'd like to welcome you to the day 2 of the 30 days AI workers or AI employee or AI agents challenge. Today's class is a major milestone. That means that most people who start out with learning how to develop their own AI employees usually end up at this point. So if you make it through this point, I would really want to give you a big congratulations, because this is a major milestone. Also, into this class, I will try to be as basic as possible. So if you're a new person to tech, you don't have foundational knowledge as it has to do with tech, there's a way I want to explain to this class so that it will still make sense to you if you just follow the steps. But there's one thing you should know. The thing about tech people is that when they hit difficulties, don't turn back. That's really the superpower that tech people have, because no matter what you do in tech, you're going to get to some points where you will hit the unforeseen. Something is just going to go wrong on your own end that every other person is not experiencing, that kind of thing. You shall just have to have that resolve to figure it out, or to seek for help, or generally you shall just have to have that tenacity to not give up. That's really the major thing with everything that has to do with tech, and not just I think life generally. Anything that is of good consequence will usually at some point have some difficulties, and you shall have to just make up your mind that I decided to do this and I owe it to myself to see it through. I owe it to myself to get to the end of this. Once you make that resolve, you're going to see that there's nothing you cannot really achieve, especially as it has to do with creating your own AI employee or AI agent or AI worker. All right. Okay, so having said that, so this is the goal of today's class. At the end of today's class, you should have n8n set up, you should have Docker and FFmpeg set up. Your n8n installation should be accessible from anywhere in the world. Now I'm going to explain all of these things as we go on, but just stick with me as we go on today. These are the things we're going to install: ngrok, Docker, n8n, FFmpeg, VS Code. Number one, Docker. What is Docker? You know how sometimes you are using a laptop and you have set up all the windows, like there are several windows running, and then all of a sudden you remember that you have to go to work or you have to go home from work, and you don't want to have to reset up when you get to where you are going. So you just hibernate your laptop or close the laptop just the way it is, so that all the settings and everything you've done, you don't have to redo them. Docker is that kind of thing. Now there are some software that for them to run, you have to make certain changes to your system. There are certain dependencies that have to be present. Dependencies, like there are certain files that it depends on that have to be present. So when you are trying to run that software, you have to do all those many things. Now what Docker does for you is to just package everything so that you don't have to do all those things over and over again. So if I want to run on another system, all I have to do is just to use Docker. All those settings and everything that is required for that software to run will be deployed where they have to be. This is what Docker does. It makes running of certain software easier. Okay, if you didn't want to use Docker, to set up something like n8n, you have to do a lot of customizations, and it will just become very frustrating. So now today I'm talking a little bit slower because I got some feedback from you guys. Some people said I talk real fast, so today I'm just going to be going really slow. All right, if you think I'm too slow, you can just increase the speed in your video. All right, so that's Docker. Docker helps you package. The technical term is containerization. It helps you contain, more like it helps you package the software with all of the dependencies, all of the settings, all of whatever it needs to run everywhere. So what you have is a bag that has all
the things that that software needs to run everywhere. We also have n8n. n8n is the major thing that helps us build automation without code. Now there's automation with Python, with Node.js and all of that. Those are, you need to code to do that. Now, but because technology is really growing fast these days and a lot of people are wanting to, you know, break the barrier to entry in tech, there are tools like n8n. With n8n, all you have to do is be able to drag some things here and there. You know, it's like you are doing some automation without actually writing the difficult codes that you would have written if you were using maybe Python to do it. Do you understand? That doesn't mean that we still don't write codes, but they are very minimal. In developing what we'll be developing, we will not be doing it alone. I'll teach you how to use the various AIs that we have, how to use them in developing the automations, the AI automations, the AI workers that we're going to be developing. So n8n is the tool with which we carry out automation, right? Without code or with low code. They call it low code tools generally. So that means the amount of code that you would have needed will be way more than if you used n8n. So that's why we're using n8n. Now, there's also FFmpeg. Now, if you notice, I did not add FFmpeg to the list of things that we needed to install before, right? But when I was thinking about this course and thinking about the projects that I would like us to build together, FFmpeg is one very mad tool. Now with FFmpeg, you can edit videos, you can cut videos, you can convert from video to audio, all of those media manipulation that you would like to do to pictures, to videos. If you notice, I put out a video that talks about automating the making of a certificate. Now, certificate is actually a picture file, right? It's an image file. I don't want you to install n8n without FFmpeg, and then when we now get to that task, we now have to start doing it again. So that's why I added FFmpeg to it. Handles audio, videos, and even images. Okay, so this is what ngrok is about. After you've done everything you've done on your system, right? Your AI worker is already on your system. Sometimes your AI worker needs to be available, needs to be reached online. Okay, ngrok now exposes a way for a tool to be able to communicate with your AI worker. Yes, so this is just to ease communication. ngrok is just to ease communication between external tools that exist on the internet with your AI worker, with your n8n environment. You understand? So that's essentially, that's what ngrok does. Now then, VS Code is just for text editing. Now there are some text editing we are going to be doing. Now VS Code is used for coding too, essentially, you know, but there are some text editing we're going to be doing. There are some files I'll tell you, put this inside this file and save it. You understand? Now VS Code, you'll be needing that. So
the first thing we'll be doing here is to install Docker. So you just open up any search engine and just type Docker download. Let's go. All right, so we open another one and say ngrok download. Okay, you can install ngrok. Now let's sign up a new ngrok account, and then let's say we're using Google. Now while that is running, let's come back to Docker, and then we have desktop. Yes, should be this. So come back here to ngrok. I accept the terms, I create an account. Alright, so we want to skip all of this. Select a role. This is you signing up for ngrok, but there's also the ngrok installation that you can do on Microsoft stores. Okay, if that doesn't come up, there's an executable that we can download and install, although I don't need to do it, okay, because I already downloaded ngrok. Oh yeah, we are in luck. All right, so ngrok, yep. So you see, this is installed. So for you, it might not be. You can just come here and install it and it works very fine. Okay, so that's for ngrok. Just come to Windows, Microsoft Store, and then type ngrok here. You're going to see it here. All you have to do is click install. All right, now in same vein, you can install Microsoft Studio Code from here. All right, but you can also come here and say VS Code download. Apparently there are two ways to install things in Windows these days. You can go through the Microsoft stores, or you can just go to the website of the makers of the software. Okay, I didn't get that error. Now if you got the error that says that your WSL was not up to date, yada yada yada, and all of that, what you need to do is to copy that WSL, open CMD in elevated mode like Control Shift Alt and press enter. Right, they will show you the code you should use, right, to update it, and you should follow that code and update your WSL. That should do it. And then if you have the virtualization issue,
there are two things you can try. Number one, you can first of all try to paste this code inside your PowerShell and then see how it goes. Now, seeing how it goes, you can check whether it worked by turning on your task manager and then see if virtualization is enabled. If that did not work, then you have to use the second option, which is doing it through BIOS.
You have to turn off your system. You have to go to BIOS to change the virtualization.
Okay, so the way I did this was to, as you can see on the screen, the way I did this was to press F10 while the system was coming up, and then it brought me here, and then I just went to system configuration. You can see virtualization technology disabled. All right, so what I need to do now is to enable this, right? And to enable this, it says F6. As you can see down here, it says F5, F6 to change values, right? So let's say F5. Oh yeah, enabled. All right, so yeah, so we've enabled. Now I need to save and exit, which is F10 again. Exit saving changes, yes.
So we'll come back here, and this is Docker. Docker is already installed. Okay, the next thing you need to do now is to open your Explorer, Windows E. So what you need to do is come to your downloads and make a folder on your downloads. Now I'm going to open that folder, open my VS Code. Yeah, I need VS Code here. So now I'm going to open VS Code as administrator, because there are files we need to create in VS Code that you need administrative rights to be able to create those files. And we are going to go to where Docker was installed. So let's go to drive C and go to program files and go to Docker and go to Docker again. Okay, so here inside this Docker I want to create two files. So we'll click here, this new file. If you can see it here, this new file. Where see my pointer? Yes, here, new file. Okay, now once we click new file there, we'll type docker file. Now we'll click new file again and type docker, this one small letters, dash compose dot yml. Docker compose and Docker file. So there's something else I think I want to introduce you guys to. There's Copilot here. Now you can go to Windows stores and just search for Copilot, right? When you're doing something like this, you need Copilot because sometimes you come across a lot of errors. So I like to use the Copilot here sometimes, but sometimes when you're doing a lot of coding, because this can read your code and it has more context, you know. Anyway, so let's come to Docker file. Now I'm going to take this and put it in my Docker compose. You see that folder I told you to create and open, and just leave it like that. Let's copy it. Now you're going to click on your address bar and you see it's selected, so you Control C. Okay, now we'll come here and paste it here, except that we have to now change all of these to these, the backslashes to front slashes. Dashboard.ngrok.com. When we come here to ngrok, our URL is here, so we just copy it and bring it here. So so in VS Code, if you want to select multiple lines at the same time, you click on starting point of one of them and then hold Alt, click on the second one, and then still hold that Alt, click on the third one. So you can select if they are all the same thing and you want to replace all of them the same time, and then Ctrl V to paste, right? And then save. There are things we have to paste there in the Docker file. Now all of these things will be available in the material of this class. So we have Docker compose down, Docker build. Now I will copy all of this and keep them here for you guys. I'll add it to the materials if anybody needs it. Okay, press enter. Okay, so while all this is going on, we can come and let's do a little bit of research. How do we test the version of n8n, because we want to make sure you have a recent n8n, all right, at the end of the day. How do we and test that we have FFmpeg installed with n8n? All right, I'm using Docker. All right, okay, so while we wait for this, let me talk about how to sign attendance for every day in this challenge. Now in the last class I said that you just comment your email and then we send you course materials and then you use your email to track your attendance for the day, but apparently YouTube doesn't allow for emails on comments. So we created a tool and I'm going to leave the link on the description. I'm going to leave it on the comments and pin it. We created a link. What you have to do is follow that link, fill the very short Google form. It's going to send a code to your email. Copy that code. Now, you're going to have to choose the day you are signing for day 2. Now if you're trying to say you're parents for day 1 and day 2, you have to fill the form for day 1 and then you will get the code for day 1. You comment it on the day 1 video. Now to sign for day 2, you fill the form for day 2. You choose day 2, the day you are signing for, and then you get the code, right? But you have to take that code and go and comment it on day 2 video. Now our AI agent is going to check those that filled the form and those that commented their code on the correct videos. It's going to use that to determine those that were present. n8n and FFmpeg is complete. All right, so to test this out, we have to first of all run docker ps. Now we're running docker ps just to know the name of the container, which is n8n with FFmpeg __. Okay, so so here we're going to replace container name here with n8n underscore with underscore FFmpeg version. Wow, once you see this, you're good. But let's also see n8n, and then for n8n is double dash for version 2.3.6. that's a recent one, so we are good to go. So it's running right now. If you want to know, you come to your Docker, under images you see the image here, then under container you click on this pull down, you see it's running, and click to stop it. It's running on this port 5676, just like we have specified on our docker compose.yml. Also, these are just the parameters with which Docker is running everything that is running right now. So what we have to do now is to come to this cmd that we've opened down. Okay, it's those that we've opened down. Then okay, now there's something I need to show you now. So see this URL here that we got from ngrok. We'll take it just from after the double front slash, leave everything else, copy it, bring it here. That's 1. 2, we will copy ngrok space http space url equal to dash url equal to, we'll come and put it behind it, then we'll type 5678, which is the port on which it should run. Okay, so let me copy this in case for some reason we are not correct. Let me just copy so we don't start again. Okay, I think we are correct. Good. So ngrok is running now. Then what we do is we will now go open a browser. We already had a browser running that we're using for all of this. Yes, so we'll come here and just put the http colon double backslash all of this. You can come here and copy it from here. Okay, let me go back there and do it again. So it tells you you're about to visit this. So you click on visit site. We'll click on visit site, and so let me open mail because we will need to do some sort of sign up from here. Okay, so you see, input my email, Lami, AI Lami. Okay, we'll type in a password. I don't want to receive security and product updates. Now we click on next. Enter the email. Yeah, send me a free license key. Good. Now they must have sent it, but I have to click on usage and plan. Code this, activate. We have activated, so we'll go back. Yeah, so this is us ready to do wonders. All right, so if you have time, you can come here and check all the many templates here. It's a lot, all right, that you can even start checking out, and you will see some projects that are more like the project you're interested in and all of that. So start from scratch. This is where we're going to start from in next class to create one or two things here and there, the project that you guys have listed in the first class. But if you got to this point, I want you to tell me the part of the entire process that was the hardest and the part of the entire process that was the easiest. That's the assignment for today. Tell me the part of the entire process that was the hardest, and tell me the part of the entire process that was the easiest for you. All right, I want to know that. See you guys in the next class.